Video we are going to discuss about liver. So first let us see the location of the liver. So first let us draw the 9 regions of abdomen to understand the location of liver. Liver is present in right hypochondrium. So this is right side, this is left side, and this is hypochondrium, this is lumbar, this is iliac, and this is umbilicus, this is epigastrium, and this is hypogastrium. Okay, so liver is located like this. So it is mainly located in the right hypochondrium and also in the epigastrium, and some part, little part also extends into the left hypochondrium. So mainly it is present on right hypochondrium, and also some part extends into the right lumbar region. Okay, so this is the location of liver, and it is a large solid gland mainly situated in right upper quadrant. Okay, so it is situated mainly in right upper quadrant. Okay, right upper quadrant of abdominal cavity. And next, coming to its external features, if you see, it is like a wedge shape, right? So let us draw the wedge shape. It is actually a 3-dimensional image. So this is called as wedge shape. So liver is wedge shape. Even if you remember in spleen we have discussed, spleen is also wedge shape structure. So liver mainly have 5 surfaces. So what are those 5 surfaces? As you can see in this diagram, this is the superior surface, this is the anterior surface, this is the right lateral surface, and on the back side, which you can see here, this one, this is the posterior surface. So these are the 5 surfaces, 1 2 3 4, and another one is inferior surface. So this side is anterior, inferior is lower one, right? So this is inferior surface. So like this we have 5 surfaces in the liver. Especially if you see among these all 5 surfaces, the inferior surface is well marked, and even the inferior border is well marked. It is well defined and very sharp in liver. So actually it is sharp anteriorly, and it is separating the anterior surface from the inferior surface. Clearly you can see this is the inferior border of the liver. Okay, so this is separating, this is the anterior surface. Okay, on the lower side you will have the inferior surface. So if you zoom this diagram, you can understand this is the inferior border. So it is separating the anterior surface from the inferior surface. Okay, so inferior border is well defined. And next, coming to the notches. If you see, especially in the anterior view, this is anterior view, right? So if you see the anterior view of the liver, it is mainly marked by 2 notches. So one notch is present for the ligamentum teres. Okay, and the other notch is present for the fundus of gallbladder. So okay, on the anterior side you have 2 notches, especially one is for ligamentum teres. Okay, that is also called as interlobar notch. So let me write it. This is also called as interlobar notch, and that is for ligamentum teres. Okay, and this notch which you have here, this is called as notch for cystic notch. This is called as cystic notch, and this notch is mainly for a gallbladder, fundus of gallbladder. So why we are mentioning a fundus? Because gallbladder is divided into body, fundus, right? So especially the fundus of gallbladder is present in the cystic notch of anterior surface of liver. So this we need to remember. Now coming to the 2 lobes. Actually liver is divided into 2 lobes. So this is called as anatomical division. So according to anatomical division, liver is divided into 2 lobes. One is a right lobe, one is the left lobe. Okay, so this side, this is the right side, right? This is the left side. So let us cut the liver like this. Okay, in anatomical position, if you see, this is a right side of the liver, this is the left side of the liver. Okay, so this is anatomical division. Mainly how this right and left are divided, this is mainly because of falciform ligament. So let me draw another diagram. So for example, this is liver. Okay, so here lies a ligament called as falciform ligament. So this falciform ligament, so let me mention it. Okay, so the falciform ligament is dividing the liver into 2 lobes. This is the right lobe, this is the left lobe, and this is called as anatomical division. And next, actually this falciform ligament is present superiorly also. This is superior side, right? So this is present superiorly and also present anteriorly. So this is the falciform ligament position. Okay. So as I said, falciform ligament. The next one, which is dividing the liver into right and left lobes, is the ligamentum teres inferiorly. So inferiorly, you can see this is inferior surface I am drawing. So here comes the ligamentum teres inferiorly. Okay, and posteriorly you have ligamentum venosum. So this is a posterior side, posteriorly. So you can see a triangle-like structure is formed. So this is dividing the liver into right side and left side. So falciform ligament, first one. Next, inferior, if you draw this in a 3D form, like this is inferior surface. Here you have which ligament? Just now I said that is ligamentum teres. Okay. And posteriorly, so let me draw, this is the anterior view of the liver. So let me draw now the posterior view of the liver. Okay, so this is the posterior side of the liver, and here you have, this is called as ligamentum venosum. Okay, so remember these three ligaments which is dividing the liver into two lobes, right and left lobes. Falciform ligament on anterior superior surface, ligamentum teres on inferior surface, ligamentum venosum on posterior surface. This is posterior view. Okay, you know this is porta hepatis, right? So now after dividing, if you observe, right lobe is more larger when compared with the left lobe. Okay, that you need to remember, and it forms 5/6 of the liver. Okay, so 5/6 of the liver is by right lobe. Okay, and 1/6 is by left lobe. So you can see the difference. 5/6 means almost major portion is by right lobe. Now coming to the posterior surface, let us discuss some important points related to the posterior surface. So for example, this is the posterior surface of the liver. Here you have mainly a falciform ligament which will also present here. Okay, and this is a left triangular ligament. Okay, and this side of course you will have a right triangular ligament. So this will be the right triangular ligament. This will be the left triangular ligament. This is the falciform ligament. Okay, and this will be the coronary ligament, and this is the ligamentum venosum. I think everyone knows already this, we have discussed in previous topics also. This is porta hepatis. Okay, and here you will have the gallbladder. So what you need to understand, you can see gallbladder is present on posterior side, but on anterior side, as we discussed before, it is giving a notch-like structure here. That is a cystic notch. Okay, for the fundus of gallbladder. Okay, and even for ligamentum teres, there is a notch on the anterior surface which will continue on the posterior surface. So both the ligamentum teres. So actually this is a ligamentum teres, we didn't mention here. Okay, this is ligamentum teres. Okay, so both the ligamentum teres and the gallbladder are present on posterior surface, but they are producing their notches on the anterior surface. Okay, so that you need to understand. So what is this? This is a posterior view of the liver. So first you will have falciform ligament, next it will divide into left triangular ligament, next it will form coronary ligament, next right triangular ligament, next ligamentum venosum, next porta hepatis, next the gallbladder, and here comes the ligamentum teres. Okay, so actually on the posterior surface you have two other names of the lobes, two lobes. So this is a C. Here C represents a caudate lobe. Okay, and here Q represents a quadrate lobe. So let me write that. So C represents a caudate lobe. Okay, and Q here represents the quadrate lobe. Okay, so what is this caudate and quadrate lobe? Quadrate lobe, let us understand now. So what is caudate lobe? Caudate lobe is formed by boundaries. If you see, superiorly it is having the coronary ligament, right? Superiorly it is having inferior part of coronary ligament, and towards the right side, this is right side. Okay, sorry, now this is posterior side, so this will be left side and this will be right side. Okay, so on the left side you will be having your ligamentum venosum. Okay, and inferiorly you will be having the porta hepatis, and if you see towards the right side, actually it forms a process like this, and this is called as caudate process. Okay, so by means of caudate process it will communicate with the right side of the liver. Okay, so this is a caudate process. Now let us discuss about quadrate lobe. I hope you understood quadrate lobe. Now Q, quadrate lobe. Okay, quadrate lobe, just by seeing the diagram you can say superiorly it is having porta hepatis. Okay, and towards the left side it is having ligamentum teres. Towards the right side it is having gallbladder. Inferiorly it is having inferior border of the liver. So very simple. This is a quadrate lobe. This is a caudate lobe. Okay, so that's it. You need to know about this caudate and quadrate lobes. Now let us see about the porta hepatis. Okay, like what are the structures, arrangement, order. Okay, over there. So the order, if you see from behind forwards, means from behind forwards. Behind forwards means from back side. If you see from back sides, the arrangement of structures in porta hepatis. First you will have vein, that is a portal vein. Okay, after that you will be having hepatic artery. Okay, after that you will have hepatic duct. So how to remember this? You can remember just V for vein, A for artery, D for duct. Okay, write like this. On above just write P to have a clarity that it is a portal vein. Above A write H, that is hepatic artery. Here also H, that is hepatic duct. So you can write like this PHHVAD, just like a mnemonic PHHVAD. Okay, so this is the arrangement of structures behind forwards, like first portal vein, next hepatic artery, next hepatic duct. So like this they are arranged in the porta hepatis. So if you understand about this is enough for the porta hepatis. Okay, so regarding left lobe, you know this is left lobe, this is right lobe. So on the posterior side of the left lobe, especially here, you will have a projection called as elevation, rounded elevation called as omental tuberosity. So this is one more important. Okay, omental tuberosity, or also called as tuber omental. Tuber omental. So now coming to the liver is covered whole fully by peritoneum, but there are like some areas which are called as bare areas. So what are those bare areas? So actually this coronary ligament here actually you also have IVC, inferior vena cava, and this region is mainly called as bare area. Okay, this area is called bare area because there's nothing over here, right? And also beside the gallbladder this area is called bare area because there's nothing over here. And also beside the porta hepatis this is also a bare area, and even this area where you have this ligaments, right, that in between that this area is also bare area. So bare area means there is no peritoneum over there. Okay, that you need to see. Why this is called as bare area? Because you know here the lesser omentum attaches, so this is called bare area. Okay, so finally coming to the blood supply of the liver. So the blood supply for the liver is mainly by hepatic artery. So according to the name, very easy. Okay, and next coming to the venous drainage. The venous drainage is by of course a hepatic vein, which will of course further drain into inferior vena cava. That thing you need to see. And next coming to lymphatic drainage, it is having hepatic lymph nodes, it is having paracardial lymph nodes, and it is also having caval lymph nodes, celiac lymph nodes. Okay, so keep them all in mind. And after that you have some deep lymphatics. Deep lymphatics directly end in inferior vena cava or sometimes into hepatic nodes. Okay, so this points you need to see regarding lymph nodes. So vein, hepatic vein, artery, hepatic artery, that's it. So next coming to the nerve supply. So what is going to supply the nerve means to the liver? Okay, the nerve supply is both sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay, it's both sympathetic and parasympathetic, and mainly it is supplied by hepatic plexus. Okay, by hepatic plexus, or if in the case of parasympathetic by vagal fibers. Now let us see the physiological division of, okay, physiological division of liver. So in anatomical division, if you remember before, in anatomical division, just you divide the liver into right and left side. But in physiological division, what you do is, so let me draw the liver. So this is the anterior side of the liver, okay, and this is the posterior side of the liver, okay. So of course this will be left side, this will be right side, left, this will be right, okay, on the posterior side. So now let us draw what is going on. Actually first we need to draw a plane over here like this, and this will also continue inferiorly, and from there it will be coming like this, like this, like this. So what is this line, by which basis we are drawing? So let us see the points. First you need to draw a plane from anterior superior surface joining the cystic notch. You know, here will be cystic notch. So joining the cystic notch and inferior vena cava. Of course here will be inferior vena cava and here will be cystic notch. So continue the same line even on the inferior surface, and on the inferior surface the plane should pass through fossa for gallbladder. So here will be gallbladder, right? So for the fossa of gallbladder, here you should continue the plane. Next, on the posterior surface, it passes through middle of caudate lobe. You know, here will be caudate lobe. So in the middle of caudate lobe, you should draw the line, and next it will continue again backward, because here only you will have inferior vena cava. So once again, let me repeat the points. First, you should draw a plane on anterior surface from the inferior vena cava to the cystic notch. So here will be the cystic notch, okay, that is nothing but where you will have the gallbladder. On the posterior surface from the gallbladder you should draw another line towards the caudate lobe. From here of course already you have a line from inferior vena cava, right? So that's it. So this is how you divide right and left lobes in the case of physiological division. In physiological division also you divide the liver first into right and left lobe. Now comes the real story, what happens. So now you have divided it. So now this right lobe is in turn subdivided into anterior and posterior segments. So let me draw a 3D image for this. So let us overlap over here. So now you can see this, for example, this is the anterior surface, this is a posterior surface of liver. So this right side of the liver is in turn divided into anterior and posterior. So let us draw a line like this. So this will be posterior side and this will be anterior side, okay. So posterior, anterior. So let me show the real diagram instead of this, okay. So this diagram will be clear. As I said, first we need to draw the planes, and next you can see this right side is in turn divided into right anterior, right posterior. On the left side it is divided into left lateral and left medial, okay. So the same diagram, right side is divided into anterior and posterior, left side is divided into medial and lateral, okay. So as you can see here clearly. Now in turn these are divided into left medial upper, left medial lower, left lateral upper, left lateral lower, okay. Same right posterior upper, right posterior below. Like let us draw a line in between like this. Even here let us draw. Then this will be upper, upper left lateral. Then this will be lower left lateral. This one upper left medial. This will be lower left medial. So same for upper right posterior, lower right posterior, upper right anterior, lower right anterior. So that's it. This is the physiological division of the liver. So finally let us discuss some clinical points. You can see clearly here inflammation of liver. So whenever the liver has got inflamed, it is called hepatitis. Itis, if in the end if you have a word itis, it refers to inflammation of any other organ. So it may be infective hepatitis or MAB. So maybe due to any other infections or due to especially amoebiasis, okay. And next coming to certain conditions, liver tissue undergoes fibrosis and shrinks. So fibrosis means it has become like a fiber. Because of that it is very thick and it has become shrunken like this. So when the liver shrinks, this is called cirrhosis of liver. So we will see all this in pathology, okay. So cirrhosis of liver, inflammation of liver. Next, liver biopsy. So for that you need to see this diagram. Liver biopsy need to be done in some clinical conditions. So this liver biopsy needle is passed through 8th intercostal space. Here you can see through the 8th intercostal space. It transfers both pleural and peritoneal. So it should pierce both pleural cavity and peritoneal cavity. So this is liver biopsy. So if you want to take any content fluid from the liver, you need to pierce first from 8th intercostal space, next pierce the pleural cavity, next pierce the peritoneal cavity, then you can enter the liver. Okay, so by this we have completed everything regarding liver.